Thank you for being here. We are excited about a lot of things, including to be able to show off a little bit of our new audio-visual system. We're especially excited about our new audio system. Do you want me to turn my mic back on? Okay. As y'all know, just because God has a sense of humor, the power was out on our big launch date of our audio-visual system at the 11 o'clock service, so we had nothing. But anyway, let's begin with a prayer, and please join me as we pray together. Most high and holy God, whose blessed Son, before his passion, prayed for his disciples that they might be one, even as you and he are one. Grant that Christ's church, being bound together in love and obedience to you, may be united in one body by the one Spirit. Guide and govern us by your good Spirit, that all who profess and call themselves Christians may be led into the way of truth and hold the faith and unity of spirit in the bonds of peace and righteousness of life. Amen. We've had an amazing year, I think, at Christ Church with so many new things, so many fun opportunities, and a lot of catching up, if that's the right word. A lot of catching up on deferred maintenance is not necessarily the right phrase, but the world we live in requires a different sort of security platform for churches to be safe and for schools to be safe, and we've done that. Our form of worship here relies heavily on this audio and visual system, which you'll hear from me in a video in a minute. It's only because of the extraordinary competence of the people in the booth that you didn't know that almost every Sunday it didn't work right. I think our record was 8 reboots of the system before it actually came up and worked one Sunday. Our communication system here didn't work because the underground lines were broken that go between buildings. Those are the kind of things that we'd like to not spend money on, but we need to spend money on. It's the cost of doing business, and we were able to do that this year. We're going to talk a lot more about that in a minute, and we've got some cool videos that we hope show off what our new AV system here in this room. But I am going to, here's our agenda, and I am going to call up our senior warden, Chris Gurley, and we're going to get to some of the important stuff, and then we're going to celebrate our different ministry areas and the different things for 2025 and into the future. So thanks, Chris.
I get to do the fun stuff. Before we go and elect the new vestry members, I want to give my sincere thank you to the members rotating off. Tim, Carrie, and Stuart, thank you. I don't know if they're here, but thank you so much for your guidance and leadership. As you can see, thank you. If you can do the math, you can see that 3 are rotating off, but we have 5 candidates, which means we are actually going to move ahead and plus up our vestry. Each candidate up here brings their own talents to the vestry and allows us to strategically focus on areas we feel are important, such as stewardship and planned giving. With that, if there are no objections, I move to approve the candidates Joe, Sally, James, Linda, and Andrew to the vestry through a vote of acclamation. Do I have so moved? Second. Great. Welcome. Andrew, Joe, if he's here. I haven't seen him. Sally, Jane, Linda, and can you guys please stand up?
Can you guys stand up? Joe's got a flag football game right now for his kid, so
Great.
he's not here. But
Yeah. Thank you.
And Linda rotated off, and then we talked her back into rotating back on.
Yeah.
She was fulfilling an unfulfilled term, so
Yeah.
an unfinished term.
She enjoyed working with us so much, she wanted to stay longer. All right.
And if you put down arrow, it'll.
All right, here are some numbers looking at over the past 4 years, our average attendance has gone up. And Father Ken and I were just looking at last year's 2025, and we feel like the 344 average attendance is not accurate. We think it's probably a little bit higher than the previous year of 357. So we're still trending upwards in our attendance, and you can see that the baptisms and confirmation are ahead of where we were coming out of COVID. Take a minute and look at these numbers. As you can see, we've increased our diocesan support and pretty much every category on here from last year, or from 2024 into last year. All right, here is the budget for 2026. As you can see, contributions are $870,000, and so far we've received year to date almost $150,000. We have 152 pledges, which is lower than last year at this time, which gives us a total revenue of, projected revenue of $1,381,000. Our expenses are primarily, it all goes essentially to personnel and facilities and admissions ministry support. Father Ken's leadership, we went through this budget over and over and over again, and there's not much to trim from it, right? So like we did last year, the vestry voted to approve a deficit budget of roughly $100,000, as you can see at the bottom, which we didn't take easy. It was a hard discussion, but what we talked about last year when we voted on the 2025 budget, that it was essentially a hope budget, and the ideas that we wanted and the view that the future we had for Christ Church, we needed to take that leap of faith. And the budget year doesn't really fit nice and neat with everything, with the where we stand and all these programs we had going on. We still needed to continue with this hope mentality. And that's why we decided and voted to approve the deficit budget where it stands now, with the full confidence that we know that the congregation will meet us where we need to be, and we'll close that gap as we did in 2025. And this is where I asked if anyone has any questions about the budget.
I think it's important to note that this strategic decision by the vestry a year ago, we did not pull any money other than the 4% that is designated when the endowment was created. We didn't pull any extra money out of the endowment to make our budget. The budget came through because of the generosity of this community. And that's what this budget is based on as well, is that generosity will continue.
Yeah, our fallback is never to draw from the endowment. We know it's there, but we fully believe that the congregation will meet us where we need. The region.
What's that?
Why is there nothing for the region support?
You know what? We sent the region a check, and they sent it back. So, and I checked, and we sent it to the right person, and they said they just sent it back. And so it was like, okay, well, we will keep the money until someone else says, when are you going to send your money to the region? I know that's weird, but that's what happens. You want me to?
Do you have a play, or is this the?
No, it's after this.
Okay.
So this is just a little bit of some new things that we've done. We have new cameras, live stream and sound equipment. We've converted from an analog system to a digital system. We have a new security system that the preschool helped us fund, and the entire campus is under video surveillance. And the inside of program buildings are under video surveillance to protect our kiddos, to protect our leaders. If some accusation is made, that video evidence is there, but it is mostly to protect the kids at the school. If you're in the playground, you're being watched. If you're coming into the building, you're being watched. If you're on the other side of the building, there's a camera over there watching as well. And I hate that this is the time we live in. Hate's a strong word. I would prefer that this wasn't the time we live in. But I think we have to be safe and take care of our kids. The ongoing expense monthly for this new system is less than the old system, which only had what do they call them, a cat eye 360 camera on the playground, and that was it. So, and indoors as well. So I feel really good about it. I was going to do a clever thing and bring it up on my phone and throw it up on the screen so you could see what was going on at the garage right now, but I don't want to have it just not work. So, so I'm not doing it. But I can show you anytime if you would like to see that. And now we do have a video after this.
Oh.
And it's going to be on the other screen because we can use our screens independently now.
One more quick note on the live stream. I think we're averaging about 80 streams a week after our service, and we just started doing both services streaming. So hopefully that ministry increases as the word gets out. If people are curious of how this upgrade was actually directly impacting our outreach through. So if you haven't been able to duck back, you can see the finished children's chapel. I recommend you guys, anyone doing that after the meeting. And we have another video.
Yeah, one quick thing. Two things that I wanted to say. One, back to to digital evangelism. I applied for on our behalf, and we received a grant for $12,000 for 2026 to use to enhance our digital evangelism at Christ Church. And we'll see how that folds in over the next few months. It's not up there because I just on Friday got the confirmation that we received the grant. So I'm really excited about that. The other thing is Pathways to Prayer and Practice is a cohort that Christ Church was invited, we applied for and were invited by the Diocese of Virginia to join. And it's a cohort about sharing how we do ministry together and using new and creative ways to do that. That invitation to join that cohort comes with a $5,000 grant to our children and youth ministry program as well. So I wanted to just say that real quickly before we hear from Adam about our children's chapel.
The Children's Ministry at Christ Church is excited to bring you an update on the progress of our new children's chapel, a unique space on our campus that is being designed with our younger disciples in mind. Over the past 3 years, we've seen exceptional growth within our community of younger families. In 2025 alone, we've had the privilege of serving over 55 families with children from birth through 5th grade. With weekly family worship, parent small groups, Club 4-5, and children's choirs, we are creating and nurturing a community that is welcoming, inclusive, and shaping the present and future of Christ Church. About a year ago, children's ministry leadership began to envision what our next steps might be for continuing to answer God's call of mission and ministry in our growing community, specifically among our younger disciples. As 2025 went on, ideas began to take form. the biggest of which was to create a permanent space for our younger children where spiritual formation and discipleship would be age and developmentally appropriate. Thanks to the help of some key volunteers and due to your faithful generosity, we are now less than 2 weeks away from officially opening our Christ Church Children's Chapel. Our former nursery has been renovated and redesigned to provide liturgically rich sights and sounds that invite our children into a holy space of wondering, befriending, and growing God's love. In the first Sunday of Lent, we will begin offering weekly Children's Chapel formation for ages 3 through 8 in this new space. This exciting addition offers 2 distinctly important aspects of Sunday morning worship. 1, a permanent chapel for our younger disciples to experience the story of God in a tangible way with the help of Godly Play curriculum and resources. 2nd, our 9 a.m. worship itself can further lean into being an empowering and holy experience for our older children, 3rd through 5th grade and beyond, many of whom are eager to learn and be equipped to lead worship. I hope you're just as excited as we are for this new chapter of children's ministry at Christ Church. As we get closer to our official launch on February 22nd, there are a few things we ask of you. Number 1, pray. Pray for our children. Pray for their families. Pray for our church, our beloved community that so loves and cherishes our young disciples. Number 2, continue to financially support this and other ministries at Christ Church. We're all in this together, listening for and answering God's call to form disciples and love our neighbor right here in Short Pump. And 3, join us for a special blessing and dedication of our Children's Chapel on Shrove Tuesday, February 17th, during our pancake supper. You can RSVP for the supper on Realm. So on behalf of our family ministry leadership at Christ Church, thank you. Thank you for your faithfulness and your generosity. It's a blessing and privilege to continue serving and walking alongside each of you. God's peace.
Just pause, and if anyone has any questions about any of those programs we just talked about. Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
What's the final number on the AV upgrade?
The total cost, I think it was $107,000 for the whole thing. But I could, is that right? Yeah, that's $107,000. Some of it last year's budget, some of it this year's budget. I do want to say real quickly, if you are interested in, the Children's Chapel it's godly. It's going to be godly play, so it's Sunday school, like in a new way of thinking about it, and it is a place for people of all ages to engage, to come, to volunteer, to be mentors, to help lead that program. With Miriam and with Adam, who are off with our kiddos right now, that's why they're not in here. So if that's something that you feel called to participate in, please be in contact with them and get connected to that new ministry.
At this point, I'll introduce our fabulous preschool director, Emily. She's going to come and give some few words about the preschool.
Good morning, everyone. This is the interactive portion of your morning. It's kind of your commercial break. Can you repeat after me? Preschool, y'all.
Preschool, y'all.
Oh, my goodness. We're a little asleep this morning. We'll try that one more time. Preschool, y'all.
Preschool, y'all.
Much better, much better. We are so glad to have everyone here today, not only to hear about the incredible missions here at Christ Church, but the ways in which our preschool is also embodying that mission from our little building right over there. First and foremost, thank you again for giving me the privilege of being here with you all. It is an honor to stand in front of you today and any day. We would like to extend a warm welcome to anyone who is here who either is currently on the board or has been on the preschool board at some point in your time here at Christ Church. Would you please stand?
The down arrow goes through your slides.
Oh, outstanding. I've got more than one slide. Watch out, y'all. He's going to make me record my message next year. Outstanding. Also, at this point, we'd like to see if there are any families here who have been touched by the preschool at some point in your journey along parenthood or membership here at Christ Church. Would you please stand? All right, we're going to move through our slides, and I want to be able to share some thoughts and ideas with you because reading from a slide should just be an email, and we want to be able to avoid that if we can. I asked our incredible assistant head of school just to send some pictures for us to embody what the preschool was to us as the staff, to our families, and to the church as a whole. And she was able to send back some magical ideas, and with her blessing, I wanted to share those thoughts with you. Here on the Valentine's weekend, when we are all filled with God's abiding love, we're here to say, as a mission of the church, Christ Church Episcopal Preschool is the total package. A small, Christ-centered, play-based preschool where childhood is honored and protected and celebrated. Our half-day program is intentionally designed around quality, not quantity, allowing children the time and space to wonder, explore, and simply be little. Childhood is not a rehearsal for adulthood. And our teachers are thoughtful, meticulous, offering daily opportunities for free play and open-ended discovery. Both indoors and outdoors, our church is where our imagination leads and learning unfolds naturally. Here, socialization, early education, and joyful play are woven together in what feels truly magical. We recognize how fleeting the season of life is, and we celebrate the sanctity of these early years with intention and care. We're not only nurturing children, we're nurturing families, fostering relationships, and a sense of belonging that extends far beyond our little walls. Long after children leave us for different elementary schools, many find their way back to one another in later years, and parents look back fondly, remembering that it all began right here. God's hand is on the blessed little preschool, our blessed little preschool, and the fruit of this community will last a lifetime through a legacy of generational leadership. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. And with our 20th anniversary starting in September, we invite each of you to be part of our mission as the love and laughter of every small child becomes a prayer to God to sustain and nurture our hope for the future. And always, and I'm going to make you repeat this too, so, clear off the pipes. Repeat after me. Let your light shine. Thank you very much. Are there any questions for me about our preschool, either what we've been able to achieve for this year or what our plans are to come? Thank you all so much.
I thought you were bringing that stool up to stand on. I was like, what are you doing?
I want to apologize for not having that energy. That was great. Thank you so much. I don't know how to introduce this next person because he means so much to us here, but if Keith, if you could come up and speak about missions and outreach, mission impact.
Okay. So I have been fortunate and honored to have been able to lead the missions team and the ministry for the last few years. And I have handed it off to Drew as of 2026, which is fantastic. So, but I want to let y'all know what we kind of did last year and kind of wrap that up. So is there anybody in the missions ministry involved in the missions leadership team right now here in this meeting? I'm looking around. There, that's the new member for next year, or this year. And Becky right there is from last year. Okay, so, and Kevin right there. So thank you. Okay, so let's advance to the next slide. I can do it here. Oh, fantastic. So in 2025, allocated to the restricted funds for missions and outreach was $29,000, and we raised $51,784 through Mission Sundays and through consignment sales and other special collections and such. What we actually used last year was $85,371 because we also have a savings bucket, so those amounts don't necessarily need to tally up. But that's what we invested in mission work, and I like to use the word invested because we are building God's kingdom, and this is what we're doing through our contributions. The things that we will receive is not really us, of course, but it's God, the gospel's being spread and God's mission work being done and the kingdom being built. So you can see in this chart that our activities and how much we spend out in the world keeps increasing. So well done, Christ Church. I am so honored to work with y'all and always being inspired by your generosity and your passion for service and the work that is present in our lives. We increased the number of partner organizations from 14 to 17, as well as the partnerships for the nonprofits for missions and outreach work. Here are just some numbers that can give us a sense of what we're doing. A lot of these are estimated. 4,319 people benefited. Students locally, abroad. People helped with housing. People helped with food. That's what you see. That's a huge amount there. One of the major things that we did differently this year was Feed More collections went year-round instead of just a single month. 12-step support groups. So our campus facilities itself becomes a missional, has missional power. So the money that is being invested in our facilities actually provide support for nonprofits that do kingdom work. Donations of food, collection drives, Mission Sundays, volunteer hours. So I want to shout out to Caritas. If you've been involved in Caritas, like over 1,500 of those volunteer hours come from the Caritas. And of course, the many ways that each of our lives bless others at work, school, home. So looking ahead 2026, we thank you for your prayers, support, dedication. There's a new missions team. Thank you, Drew, for leading that, along with Jen Turner, who is the new chair. And I especially want to recognize Tracy Muckey, who was the chair working with me prior, and she has handed that off to Jen. And together we continue to be God's light to the world. So thank you.
Thank you, Keith, for your work with missions over the past few years and everything you do for the music program. And now I would like to invite Reverend Drew up to speak about new member ministry.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. So newcomer ministry, this is a brand new ministry to us. So we're not definitely building the plane while we're flying it, but we're sort of building the plane while we're flying it. Because we, want to be intentional about how we're building this new ministry, how we're being intentional about welcoming those who come in and join us. And so while it's not about the numbers do tell a story, and really the newcomer ministry is all about how do we tell our story, who we are as Christ Church, who do we want to be. Is the story we telling correct? Does it need to be adjusted? Do we need to start a new chapter? What does all that look like? So for newcomer families, we've had 23 new families since January of 2025. Now that's families. I sort of went by like last names. So if you start adding up bodies, real bodies, you're actually looking about 40 new people total. So about 23 families, and then underneath that there is the Episcopal 101 class. I wanted to include that as well because I think it is a sign of how people are interested in wanting to know more about the Episcopal Church. What does it mean to be Episcopalian? And then also, what does it mean to be a member here at Christ Church? What does that look like? Does it start when you pull in off the street? Does it start when you come in? Does it start when you take Eucharist? What does all that look like and mean? And spoiler alert, it does start as soon as you come in off the street. We start telling our story as soon as you pull in off a Pouncey tract or whatever this road is out here. Thank you. I'm still trying to figure out where I live. So I've gotten to the point I don't have to put in Google Maps anymore, so that is good. So why does this, it matters, why does this matter? It's because people visiting church for the first time is sometimes an act of courage. Maybe years that they've stepped foot inside of a church, or they're coming seeking something that they know that they need in their lives. So they could be curious, they could be grieving. There's so many different reasons. And so our faith calls us to meet those moments. When we meet Christ walking into the church, into this space, we have to do it intentionally and with care. And so our purpose then is, the goal then is not about numbers, but is to help people become connected participants here at Christ Church. And so we try to remove the barriers. What are things that we've sort of gone blind to that we just take for granted that everyone should know? Well, everyone knows where the office is. Everybody knows what the garage is. And so that intentionality where you sort of start to wonder, when you pull in here, do you know where to go? Like, do you know where the office is? So we're looking at things like that, not only signage and different opportunities to welcome people. So how we do that is through connection in practical ways, intentional welcomes on Sundays to clear information and guidance. With our budget, we're trying to prioritize for greatest impact. So right now, what that looks like for me as I'm sort of we're building this, is going to be name tags. Right now, we're all sort of using these disposable name tags. So what we'd like to move away from is everybody writing their names down and then throwing those away. So we're doing creation care, caring for the environment, and then also where you have a plastic name tag with a magnet on the back that you leave here, but when you walk in, you grab it and you put it on, and it has your name already there. So it'll save a little bit there. And then also you can decorate it, which is always great. You can decorate, make it your own. But we will still keep these paper for newcomers, and part of that as well is a newcomer ministry, or those people who will be involved. What that requires, as well as the training and supporting. We need people as well who are going to be at the door. Hey, Emily, it's so great. Or excuse me, I don't know your name yet. Hello, welcome to Christ Church. What is your name? I write that on a name tag. I hand it to you. I have that moment of bonding. Tell me about yourself. What brought you here? We're so glad you're here. So as soon as people are walking in the door, there's someone, Christ Church is here present, being the body, being the hands and feet of Christ, welcoming people as they come in. Y'all may know this guy. He's all right, I guess. How fund support this ministry? Again, I spoke a little bit about that. Being intentional, prioritizing for the greatest impact. Visible evangelism. How I sort of see that is just swag. I sort of hate to use that word, but coffee cups. If you come in, hey, we're so glad you're here. Let me give you a coffee cup so that when you go home or you go to take it to your office, you have Christ Church emblem on them. Well, tell me about Christ Church. Who is that? Well, this is this church I went to. What about magnets on the back of your car? Some of y'all, my husband probably would not want, he's a terrible driver, and I hate to tell you that. He probably would not want that magnet on the back of his car because he doesn't want you to know that he cut you off, and a member of Christ Church cut you off on the way. He's not here, so I think I can say that. It's fine. But things like that, things that you, as you go through your daily life, again, it starts when you come in off the street telling the story of Christ Church, and it continues on even as you drive off of this place where you are a representative of Christ Church. And so our hope for moving forward is that we continue to deepen those connections. People are getting involved, not only getting involved, but they know how to get involved. I want to do this. Looks like you're playing music. How do I get involved in that? And being approachable as well. The milling area is a great great spot, and also I feel like we can do more for creating a space that people want to hang out in after this ends. It's not just a pass-through area, and that as well is going to be part of the dream that we have for the newcomer ministry. And the big picture, it's not about managing visitors, it's about accompanying people as they discover whether this can be, and spoiler alert, it can be, home to them. So, hope that explains. Any questions? Threw a lot of information at y'all. Yeah, don't tell my husband I said that about him by the way. No. Which camera do I need to look at? One. Lies, all of it lies. My name is Ken Malcolm. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Reverend Drew. Before we move on to Father Ken's big reveal for Lent, I wanted to circle back to the budget. One of the goals we have on the vestry is transparency. And so we've made efforts to, on the back of every bulletin, and it's going to be updated weekly, the numbers, where we stand, week to week, month to month, so the congregation can see their donations in action and help generate a conversation that we can have about pledging and stewardship moving forward. And speaking about finances, she's not here. I wanted to thank Jackie Vitello. She is the outgoing treasurer. She did a wonderful job keeping us straight throughout the year. So we can give her a round of applause if she does watch the recording. And another person, Shelly Nichols, she is also not here, but she led the stewardship team this past year and also did a remarkable job. Give her a round of applause. And I'm just going to do a combination because they're sitting next to each other. The onboarding treasurer is Barry, if he wouldn't mind standing up, and Keach is the new stewardship chair. So since they're standing next to each other, we can give them a round of applause. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's all for mine. If you want to do.
Yeah, let's see what's next on the slide. Oh.
Youth ministry. Well, I think Miriam is still with the youth for this. As a parent, the youth ministry has really taken off this past year. I've seen it with Club 4-5. As you can see, here's what Miriam has scheduled throughout the Lenten season and spring. I can't stress enough, on the way out, check out the Children's Chapel. That team did a great job with that.
And I do want to say, Miriam's our newest staff member, and she's an extraordinary gift and is doing such an amazing job. There are parents here who know it directly from the work with their kids. She is a gift and a blessing, and so is the entire staff. Some of them are in the room right now. Most of them are doing something else because it's the behind-the-scenes work oftentimes that goes unnoticed but is amazingly important. And I told them last week, during staff, more than once, but I said, this staff likes to just sit in the kitchen in the office building because they like to work together. They all have offices, they all have desks, they all have places they could go, but they like to work together, and they tell stories, and they laugh, and they work, and they play. And I said to them last week, I hope that you all don't take this for granted, because those of us who've taken a few more trips around the sun than y'all have know how extraordinary it is to work on a team of incredible people who like each other, who laugh together, who cry together, and who work hard for this amazing community of Christ Church that we pray for every week when we gather for our meetings. And it's just really a privilege to be with them. And so thank you. Some of them are in here, most of them are not, but Thank you. Our theme, Lent doesn't really need a theme, but it's fun to have a theme. It already has a built-in theme, preparing for the arrival of Easter, preparing ourselves. But make room for new life. People will say, well, I'm not going to give up anything. I'm just going to take on something. Well, that's great, but I don't know what your life looks like. But mine, if I'm going to take on something new, I've got to set something aside. And set something aside that I think is getting in between me and a closer relationship with my God. And that is what the idea of giving up for Lent so that we can take on new life. This year, we have a Lenten speaker series with local folks who are passionate about and experts in creation care or stewardship of God's creation, or some people use the phrase environmental justice. So these are local folks who are well known for what they do and well known for the things that they bring to the table. And I cannot wait to have them here on Wednesday nights, where we'll hear from them, and we'll have dinner, and we'll celebrate, and we'll pray, and we'll think about the important things going on. If you will look, if you were at the 9 o'clock service, or if you're here for the 11, during the announcements, we're going to put the website up on the screen so you can see. Oh, it is. Good job, Annika. So she said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but it's right there. Go to our website. Everything we're doing during the season of Lent to prepare for the coming of Easter is there. And it's just an extraordinary blessing for me to be here with you in this community. I told the choir last Sunday that the anthem that they were singing while I was distributing communion brought tears to my eyes and made it really hard to distribute communion. And it was a beautiful feeling to be that full of the beauty of this community in that moment. So thank you, each and every one of you. And let's celebrate Christ Church in 2026 and keep moving forward and doing amazing things together. So thank you. Oh.
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Tricia Williams, and yesterday I was here with a number of other helpers working in the kitchen, kind of helping to get reorganized and streamlined. As a result, we have a number of items that are redundant within that space and not being used currently. There's a table out there in the milling area. If you see something you would like, or if something belongs to you, just grab it. Items that are left afterwards, and maybe another week, we'll take over and give them a new home. But if you see anything you like, thank you.
I did notice that one item had Adam and Sally's name on the back of it, so that might be something that you want to pick up. Although I really liked it, and I almost took it home on Saturday. So, but if you are a current vestry member, even if you're outgoing, and if you are a new vestry member, and our treasurer Barry, would y'all stand up just to? Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to take probably about 5 minutes to get reset and to get ready for our 11 o'clock service. Blessings to you all. Thank you.